governance. Is it clear? Now, governance mean governance. Now, you know the meaning of the term government. Is it clear? So, what is government? Government is simply the institution that rules the country. Simply, now Sri Lanka is a state. Is it clear? Sri Lanka is a state. India is a state. America is a state. Clear? In your day-to-day life, you call country. But in political science, we call it what? State. In political science, we call it states. Is it clear? So, within this state, there is a particular institution called government. Why do we elect a government? Government is elected for ruling the country on behalf of the state. The government is exercising the powers of whom? The state. Do you get it? It's like your school actually. So your school is a well-established institution which exists for maybe 100 years, 150 years, 200 years. Clear? Its crest, school song, school culture, school flags, everything remains unchanged. They will also continue in the same way for another 100 years. With some changes, sometimes you change some certain things in the crest and all those things change, but the total system will function for another 100 years with that name. But do you think that the principal and the staff and the students, will they be there forever in the school? They come and go. So, principal and the staff is actually a kind of a group that we appoint for a temporary period of time for ensuring the day-to-day administrative affairs of the school. Am I correct? Clear? Maybe a principal for 10 years, 5 years, like that. After that, new one will come and continue. So, principal and the staff actually we they are appointed for a short period of time just to undertake the ruling affairs of the school. Government is also like that. We elect a government for a temporary period of time, maximum 6 years or 5 years in any country, in democratic countries. Is it clear? Actually, when it comes to monarchical systems, where the kings are ruling, it changes. The kings will be ruling there forever. When it comes to country like Saudi Arabia, no. But in a democratic country, we elect a government for a very, very short period of time. Is it clear? That's the difference between state and government. So, if this government is working properly, if they are just fulfilling what the people need and the needs of the states, we will give power and the next election, again we will elect them to rule the country for another 5 years or 6 years. This is what you call government. Then what is called governance? Actually, governance is the process where the government is engaging in ruling the country. The government is participating, government is undertaking the entire task of the country. Clear? For ruling the country, we call it governance. Clear? Now, at this moment, this government is governing this country. That's why we have this electricity. That's why you have this transport and other facilities. That's why you have security. Now, when you come here, there are traffic police, understand? Armed forces, armed personnel. Clear? So, when you go to government hospital now, you will be treated, you will be given medicines, doctors, nurses are working. So, they all are working under the salaries of whom? Under the guidance of whom? Government. If there is no government, if they are not given salaries, if there is no order from the government for them to work, would they work? No. So, which means that, children, a government rules a country for 24 hours. Governments engaging in the process of governance for 24 hours. We are sleeping. Maybe 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, you go to bed. Clear? Even the president, prime minister, all these big people will sleep. Government is sleepless means the president is not awakening throughout the night. He will also sleep. But the process, the mechanism called governance continues. Is it clear? Now say 12 o'clock at night you go to hospital. Clear? So isn't there a doctor in charge there?
Yeah.
There is the one. Clear? He is there under the payment of government. Government pays him for his sleepless nights. Is it clear? Understand? Midnight, maybe 1 a.m. you just get up and switch on your bulbs. Clear? They'll be lighting. What does it mean? Someone will be spending a sleepless night under the government's payments for giving you this facility called electricity. Is it clear? Do you understand it? Clear? So, this is what you call the process of governance. It's everywhere. The powers, clear, the functions of governance is everywhere. Clear? Now children, you know there are some countries where terrorist groups, underworld gangs and various kind of, paramilitary groups, we call it what?
Paramilitary.
Yeah, unofficially holding weapons, we call them paramilitary groups are very much active. In Sri Lanka also there's a period, we call that LTTE. Okay, there's a war. So that kind of, especially in African countries, Central Africa, Sudan, Mali and those countries, Nigeria, clear? So in those countries actually, terrorist groups and underworld gangs, when it comes to South American region, Latin America, lot of underworld.
Cartel.
Yes.
Drug cartel.
Drug traffickers and all. Clear? They have become very powerful. Clear? A terrorist organization or an underworld gang become powerful mainly because of what?
Weaken of government.
If the government is weak, if the process of governance is weak, if there is no very powerful army, if there is no very powerful mechanism for enforcing law and order, clear? These underworld gangs, terrorist organizations, paramilitary groups come up. Where the governance, process of governance get weakened, clear? Other, clear? Unofficial groups will come forward. We call it terrorism and all. Is it clear? So you must understand, for the smooth functioning of a country, there should be a very, very properly organized mechanism of what? Governance. Governance includes various things like what? First and foremost thing is lawmaking. Clear? Why? Because in any country the people are controlled. Government actually controls people's external behavior. The law controls people's which behavior?
External behavior.
Internal or external? External behavior. You do some offense, you drive a vehicle in the wrong side, the police will stop it. Will the police ask you to sit down and do a meditation and go?
No.
Half an hour?
No.
They will just, soon as they look at the offense, they will write a charge sheet and give it. Is it clear? The law always controls your what? External behavior. So in order to control the external behavior of the people, the government should always make what? Laws. So legislation, we call it, the technical term is what? Legislation. The institution which make laws is known as legislature. What is it? Legislature means parliament. In Sri Lanka, parliament. Several countries use several names. Clear? In Russia you call it Duma. In Japan you call it Diet. In Israel you call it Knesset. Sri Lanka, Great Britain, we call it parliament. Whatever it is, legislature is the institution that make laws. Is it clear? So lawmaking is one of the major tasks of whom? Government. Why? Without laws you can't do anything in the country.
So in America, the parliament is known as a Senate.
We call it Congress.
Congress.
Yes. Senate is one of the houses. There are two houses. House of Representatives and Senate. Is it clear? America, we don't call it parliament, we call it Congress. Is it clear? So, the governance is a process where the government engages in ruling the country. Okay, so lawmaking, conflict resolutions, especially in a context of multi-ethnic society. Is it clear? Especially in a multi-ethnic society, always there is a possibility of what?